Thanks for listening to the StrongBackNation podcast. Feel free to reach out for any questions at strongbacknation@gmail.com, or if you would like to be interviewed on the show. Today, we go over what past experiences can help you bring to the table with your junk removal business.
Good morning, back with another one. So today I wanted to talk about a few things about how everybody's got different backgrounds and they bring certain skills to the table when they start their new venture. In this case, junk removal, or if you start a company or a business. So I'm gonna kind of go through my background, and hopefully that'll give you some ideas of what you can do based on your background. And if you don't have a background like that, there have been times where I didn't know how to do things, and still now, so in that case, there's the saying where you build your parachute while you're falling out of the airplane. That's kind of how I felt sometimes. Or there's another saying called just-in-time learning. So you just, whatever you're working on and you need to learn right then and there, just learn along the way and just build it as you're learning, and you'll do just fine. And there were times where I've just, I had to, even the landing page I built for the Google Ads, I was just learning and building at the same time through the training that I have or had. So just keep that in mind. So I think it started, at the very beginning. I mean, I could start at the very beginning where I was getting into producing audio and video, just as a kid in high school. I was just, even though at the time I was just messing around, I was making all these videos. This is way before any digital. I had this camera with the cassette tape thing, and my computer was powerful enough to record some, I had a music software that I used to record music and produce a little bit and do all that, and learn how to mix. So just kind of starting there, I think helped me. And as far as video goes, I think that helped me come up with ideas for creativity. Same with music. So we're going to skip forward to college. So I studied, my primary study was communications, and I had, a core of business and music. And so I had a lot of marketing classes, but that's not what really helped me. Was I mostly self-taught. I self-taught myself all the things that I'm doing now. So in college, I took some marketing classes and advertising and all that. And then I had a little side job doing recording for the campus. But really what I think kickstarted was my first official job outside of college, which was I was a marketing manager, and I ran the company that sold ski and snowboard gear. Ran their Google Ads and email campaigns. I designed I created all the design for the emails and the email blasts, and I managed their affiliate marketing and and a little bit of like just a little bit of their social media stuff. But what helped me the most, I think, was actually having tangible experience, because I managed their budgets. I had to keep track pretty carefully. It wasn't a fixed budget. It was by percent of what sold. I had to use the marketing budget based on like whatever sold that week. I only had like 8 to 12% of budget I could use. So like a ski and snowboard company, obviously you have more budget in the winter when it's peak season to work with for Google ads and other marketing channels. So that was kind of my first dive into marketing and helped me keep track of the budgeting and a spreadsheet, and I learned a lot of the messaging and coming up with ideas, stuff like that. So that was fun. That was for a couple years. And then the next job I had for a little bit was managing different clients, making sure content was produced for them, stuff like that. It was for a very brief time, just for a few months. But then I hopped over to another business in Boulder, Colorado, and it was a company that sold restaurant supplies. So I was like their primary email marketer person, and I produced all their emails and tried to automate their emails, stuff like that. And that was for like a year and a half, maybe 2, but had to hop over to another job when I moved. I moved from Colorado to Missouri, and so but during that time, that's when I picked up a marketing course that taught me how to run Facebook ads, and I learned how to run Facebook ads and generate leads. Built a landing page, automations to collect their name, email, phone number for primarily like chiropractors, and I did a few other one-off local businesses type things. So I did that on and off for a few years while I was working. So that was kind of my side thing, but eventually turned into like my main thing for a period of time. So like the restaurant supplier business, when I moved away from that and moved to a new state, I didn't have a job lined up, but I had my agency, my side agency type thing, which kind of was a good supplement and kind of risky, but yeah, just moved to a completely new state, bought a new house, like our first house, and took a huge leap of faith. Moved wife and 2 kids at the time to a new place, completely new. Bought a new house and had faith that things would work out, and they did. So moved there and was working my agency, had managing my clients, and then eventually I picked up like a temp job, which, oh man, I can't even describe what they did. They focused on like providing marketing for corporate education. So I was like responsible for sending out email education, like education through email notifications, and it was quite a complex process. It was like using old and new technology. Some of it reminded me of like playing Oregon Trail on the Apple e-computer. Same with like my other previous jobs, like their merchant service reminded me of Oregon Trail. I was like, are we logging into DOS or what? So I did that for 6 months, and then I was able to get a full-time job at a company that was their thing was secure backup software. So I did marketing for that, ran their Google Ads and email campaigns, and figured out a way to get some good marketing that way. And that lasted for I think a year and a half or so I was there. And then I think after that I picked up a job at a news station where I was in their sales department and was kind of the go-to for delivering their sales and advertising and marketing from like the sales team. I would have to make sure our vendors would put out all their marketing for the companies that paid for advertising. But what I also did that was pretty fun was I managed their podcast, and I coordinated the people being interviewed and the interviewer, made sure everything was scheduled out, everybody had what they needed, and to get everything recorded. And so that was fun to kind of go through that process. And then after that, I picked up a job I was a business intelligence analyst, and that was at the big Cerner company, and did that for a few years. Learned how to manage, keep track of things, and use Excel quite a bit. That's kind of when I started picking up like data, how to use data and analyze it, stuff like that. Primarily first with Excel, and then I got my Google data certificate. I forget what it's called, but I got a certificate, and it taught me how to just kind of an overview, a lot of formulas that I still use today for when I want to analyze reports, stuff like that. Kind of the easy ones, like not easy if you're just starting out with Excel, but like VLOOKUPs and count if statements, stuff like that. But that's come in handy. And I during that time I did some side projects. I was learning Python programming language, and actually that was since ChatGPT came out, that was really that helped me out because I knew it's kind of like learning a language. Like you don't know how to speak it, but you know how to read it. So if it's already there, you can kind of read and understand what it's doing or saying. So I had ChatGPT help me write a lot of the code, and so oh, this is a funny story. So we decided to do a little experiment and go off grid and like turn the electricity off for a while. And so after that experiment, for however long we did it, I exported the utility bill data, and I used Python to convert it into charts and information so that I could see like how many, like when the moment we turn the water heater off, and then the moment we turn the utilities, like the washer and dryer, like what power, like how much power we were consuming. And actually the water heater and the dryer, because it's an electric dryer, that consumed most of the energy. So that uses a lot. So like we were paying like $13 a month for our utility bill, which is like nothing. Anyway, so that was a fun experiment, but I was able to play around with Python, and so I think I'm on the right track, because like I can apply my data analyst experience into analyzing my junk removal business data to figure out what's selling, or which category of marketing is doing well, I mean, there's reports that already have that in like your CRM, but I can go a little bit further if I want and go a little bit deeper. But the key is you got to collect as much data as possible so that you can utilize that. And then my last job was a health data marketing agency where I compiled and did a lot of reports and used Excel quite a bit for that. So with all those things, I was able to take my experience and marketing, like I had to get, even with all that, I still had to get some help setting up some of my marketing and had some help of running my Facebook ads initially. And also just with the time that I have. But eventually I just wanted to take back control of all of my marketing and utilize as much budget as I can. If I'm going to be spending money, I want all the budget to be going to the actual advertising versus paying a chunk of that to the person managing it. I'd rather do it myself so that all that budget can be utilized to generating the leads as we get more, produce more with the budget. So that's what I did with applying my experience and all the things I did with my marketing and so that's why I was able to, even though like some of this stuff like Google Ads and Facebook, I haven't touched that for like 4 or 5 years. Like some of this stuff, like I was doing data analyst stuff for like 3 to 4 years, and so I was so out of the loop. I had to like really dust off the cobwebs, and things changed too. But surprisingly, Google Ads, like since like the past 15 years, hasn't really. I mean, they've added a lot of new stuff, but it's kind of the same thing. And with Google Ads, like when I set that up, like I went through a course and some training to get that set up. But at the end of the day, I don't like that. That's a cliche term, sorry. But I just called Google and got a Google rep, and they helped me get my conversion tracking set up with my landing page, my phone number, just all that stuff. Because even in the course that I had, it showed me how to do it. I just wasn't doing it right. But if you just get a Google rep and they just walk you through step by step, they know how to do it way better than I do. And they have you pull up your Google Tag Manager and plug everything in. So that way now all I got to do is I just got to turn on the switch. If I want to generate leads, I just turn on the Google Ads switch, turn on the Google Local Service Ads switch, the Facebook Ads switch, and what else? What other switches do I have? I have the agency switch. I use Perfect Click right now. They make it pretty easy to just turn on and off the switch. It's not like a retainer fee or anything like that. So that's pretty much how I was able to bring why marketing comes pretty easy to me. I mean, even after all that, there's still a lot of other things, yard signs, guerrilla marketing. I wish I could do more, networking events. There's always more you can do. But I think, it worked for me pretty good. Last year was my first year. There was just a lot of ups and downs, but I think that it'll keep getting smoother as I build my list of customers. And I think repeat business is, that's going to surface quite a bit. I've already experienced that so far. It's only February. It's almost March now, but so yeah. And like I said, if you have not even had any marketing background, or if you haven't even, feel like you haven't, your specialty might be, operations or, sales or whatever else. But don't let what you don't know hold you back. Just pull up a video and just work on it. Put stuff together, and you'll be up and running in no time. There's a few resources that I can give you, like videos that really help me. Like there's one that's from, I'll just give a shout out to Steezy Flips YouTube channel. He put out a really good video that helps you with your Google local service ads, like how to optimize that. I use that quite a bit. But anyway, stuff like that. Hopefully that's helps. And this podcast is funny because I don't know who's listening. So like if you do have questions, or if you need help with something, I'll do my best to see if I can steer you in the right direction. Right now I just have an email. You can reach out to me, StrongBackNation@gmail.com. Eventually I have the StrongBackNation.com domain. I'll probably just create like a little page that people can opt in if they want. I might just give them something if you trade them with some of their information, so I can start building a list and communicating to everybody that way. But right now it's just the email. Reach out to me and I'll see what I can do to help you out. Anyway, that's all I got for today. Have a good one.